Hello everyone. In today's video, we are going to learn about how to create great resumes for our job searches. To begin with the topic, I would like to start from the why and the what. So, why do we need resumes? Why do we really want them to be there with us when we do our job searches? Let's understand with an example. Consider yourself Qutub Minar or Eiffel Tower. You might be wondering, like, why? What kind of example is this? Let me explain. If you consider yourself an Eiffel Tower or Qutub Minar, there are two things which are going to happen. First, you would be able to see a larger landscape. And the other thing which is going to happen is you are going to be so large that you are going to be visible from a very, very large distance. So this is what which really happens when you create a great resume or when you create a great LinkedIn profile. And the outcome which happens in this case is you could be able to see a lot many relevant vacancies on LinkedIn profile, and also you could be able to have that greater visibility of the recruiters on you. Now, to become Eiffel Tower or uh, Qutub Minar, a strong base is very much necessary, which justifies the why resumes and strong LinkedIn profiles are really needed when you make a job search. So that is what the why stands for. Why resume? What are resumes for us? As in, uh, what maybe when you have come across an advertisement on paper media or maybe on social media. So consider the resume is a kind of a brochure who's going to mention uh, your all the qualities, all the USPs of you, which recruiters are going to entice towards to hire you. So now when we have understood why and what of the resumes, let's move forward and understand how we are going to build the resume. What are the important components which we are supposed to look into to make an impressive resume? Of course, we are going to talk about LinkedIn profile a bit later, but let's understand the resumes first. Okay, let's quickly talk about the important components of any resume. The important components of any resumes are contact informations, skill sets, summary of the resume, employment history, additional information which is there in the resume, and last but not the least, educational information. And of course, you can add more columns if you wish to, but these are the major components what we are supposed to mention in a resume so that employer or the recruiter can have a greater look on our capabilities and our background. So now when we have mentioned all of the components of the resume, let's quickly jump into all of the components one by one to understand better where we make mistakes and what we should be doing to correct those mistakes. First, the contact information. In contact information, we are supposed to provide our email address, our contact number or the cell phone number, and the present address where we reside right now. So when we actually mention these details, where are the areas where we generally make the mistake? The first and the foremost mistake which people make is not actually mentioning a well crafted email ID on the resumes. For example, for example, the way I have seen in the sample resumes, like shanky123 at the rate gmail.com. Like, for example, babyrocks at the rate gmail.com. Now, these are not the appropriate email IDs which are supposed to be mentioned. These are not going to impress the recruiter at all. These names sound and actually seem very casual and not professional at all. Instead, if a person is going to use an email ID such as name at the rate gmail.com, such as their name at the rate gmail.com, like Amit at the rate gmail.com, like Amit Job Search at the rate gmail.com. Sorry, Amit, for taking your name, but this is going to make an impact. Now, recruiter at the very first glance, it is going to make their life easier to recognize the email ID of the person, and yep, so this makes a difference there. The other thing which we can improve while mentioning the contact, a company that contact number with voicemail, so that whenever recruiter calls, recruiter is going to be aware that their message is not going to go in vain. It is going to get heard, and it is going to get recorded. And definitely any recruiter or any professional organization is going to like it. So these are the two generic mistakes, not two generic mistakes. There is one mistake and one improvement which a person can do in contact informations. Other, while mentioning the address, generally people write it down, right? Just one thing to be noted there, it should be the present address wherein the recruiter can contact you directly. So these are three things which are to be kept in mind while mentioning the contacts. Moving ahead with point number two, that's the summary. Now, summary part is not the tricky, but people tend to do mistake here also. Uh, and generally, this is being done by new graduates, those who have just passed out from their colleges. Experienced professionals, they don't generally make the mistake here, but still, this needs to be understood, and the significance needs to be understood properly. So, the mistake is people tend to write objective there. Now, let me give you an example of the objective. One objective which I came across at certain point of time was something like that my objective is to work in so-so organization with so-so functionalities, with so-so facilities, so that I can leverage these facilities and I can perform this and that. So all of this so and that, it's something which job seeker wants. And me, if I am on the other side, if I am the recruiter, my pushback will be, so what? So that's where people make mistake, and they don't understand like what's in it, what's there in the objective for the employer, for the recruiter. So that's where this is one generic mistake which people do. So point is, do not write objective in the resume, replace it with summary of your experience or of your strengths there. Summary should be 2 to 3 sentences long, that is it. And it should mention the transferable skills to their job, to their job vacancy. So uh, whatever you have learned in the previous job, or whatever you have learned in the uh, during studies, you should be mentioning something there which employer wants in their job. So it should be a transferable skill on to the next job to which you are applying. So that's about the summary. Coming on to the third part, that is skills. Now, okay, generally what people do, that they write plethora of skill sets in the resume, no matter whatever they know, whatever they have learned in their entire lifetime, they put it all together, they put it in the resume right away. Now that's there where we make mistakes. Now there is one thing, whenever an organization or a recruiter searches for a right candidate in the job portal, they always search the right candidate using keywords. So now when they use the keywords, they get the right candidate. But if you are going to mention a lot of skills there which are not relevant, or which are not relevant to the job, this is going to waste recruiters' time, and this is going to waste your time. So instead of going with a plethora of skills of whatever you have learned in your entire lifetime, go through the job vacancy, look out for whatever they really are seeking for, and pick out the skills from there and put it there in the resume. Yep, you are right. This is going to make your life a bit hectic, a bit tedious task. But yes, this is definitely going to take the focus of recruiter to your profile right away. So this is what the generic mistake which people do. during putting the skills in the resume. Point number 4, employment history. Whenever you are going to mention the employment history in the resume, here are the things which you need to take care of. Point number 1, employment history should be in reverse chronological order. Why reverse chronological order? Because recruiter is going to see the most recent transferable skills into their job vacancy. That is where from which recruiter is going to understand that these are the recent skills which can be transferred to the job posting. So that's why the job listing should be in reverse chronological order in the resume. Second thing, whenever mentioning the previous jobs in the resume, always keep it concise. Always keep the description of the job responsibilities for a particular job a bit concise, and always mention the relevant assignments there pertaining to one job responsibility. There has to be one relevant assignment. The next thing which you are going to take care of is always quantify whatever details to a job responsibility you are providing pertaining to a job. Quantification means, let's say, if in XYZ company I had been a sales team lead, then I will mention it in the resume that okay, I led the team, that's good, but so what? What then? What are the outputs? So whenever recruiter is going to look into your resume and they are going to see that okay, this guy has led the team, but there is no quantification of the numbers which he's talking about, so they could not be able to judge your capability of leading a team. So ideal description should be like, uh, I led the sales team and I increased the sales by XYZ percentage in past 6 months. So that completes the entire description for a job role for any previous job in which you have worked. The last part is, if let's say suppose you have worked in more than 8 organizations, or maybe let's say more than 10 organizations or 20 organizations for that matter. Now when you have worked in so many organizations, are these all organizations should go in your resume? Answer is absolutely no. Your resume is supposed to be a brochure, not a booklet to read out. So always keep it concise. The most recent relevant jobs, up to 5 in number, should go in your resume. Apart from that, whatever jobs you worked in, they should go in a way that I also have worked with ABC, YXZ, GHI organizations also, something like that. So in that way, your resume is going to be brief, concise, and all of the details which you are going to provide in there, they are going to be very relevant to the recruiter, and recruiter is going to assess your skills and capabilities at glance, and that is going to make your candidature very strong. Point number 5, yeah, 5. Point number 5 is educational qualifications. Now educational qualifications, uh, generally people do not do mistake there. It's a very kind of very sorted segment of the resume wherein you are supposed to write the institute's name and the major or the minor, whatever you have done there, with the stream in which you were. So very straightforward, but there is one mistake which generally college grads do, or maybe people those who are making their first switch, they do. They mention their grades there. Mentioning grades is irrelevant after a certain experience, because all what recruiter actually cares about is the transferable skills. That is it. So mentioning grades in education qualification section is kind of no reason entirely. But yeah, in certain cases wherein it is the requirement of the job, it the job description explicitly mentions it, that the candidate should be having 70% or above XYZ grades or above, then in that case you can go ahead and mention your grades there, but or else it is not required. So simply, I mean, keep it like that. Do not mention them until it is very very required. Section number 6. Section number 6 states the additional information. Additional information, when I say, I mean to say that this is the only section wherein you are going to get a chance to showcase your personality, to showcase your attitude towards life. Maybe this is where you talk about yourself, your achievements, and that's the only place wherein you are going to talk about yourself. So you got 3 sentences to showcase yourself. Use them wisely, and things which you need to take care of while mentioning the achievements and the engagements will be like, always mention the achievements which are relevant to the job, or mention the achievements from previous jobs which are relevant to the current job. For example, if I'm applying to a sales job and I had been awarded in the past with some sales expertise, explicitly I'm going to mention it there, that I had been award winning sales manager in my this organization, and this association has awarded this award to me. The next thing, you are supposed to mention your engagements. Engagements, when I say, it can be an engagement with some NGO, maybe some society wherein people publish blogs. It can be some hackathon event or something like that. So basically, in engagements, you can show it off that okay, you are the part of this group, and you uh, regularly publish a blog, and you love writing, something like that. So that will conclude the additional information. All right, to conclude, till now, we have understood 6 sections of the resume: how to create some good contact information, how to create some good summary, how to mention employment details there, how to mention the educational qualification, how to mention the additional information in the uh, resume. Oh, I forgot one, and that's the how to mention skills in the resume. So basically, we have gone through how to mention these sections in the resume, what are the goods and the bads for them, and how to make them more appropriate and good, so that you can attract recruiters' attention in a good way. So, said that, this video on resume is concluded. Up next is going to be another video on the same series of resume, come with some kind of ninja tactics to amplify the effect of resume on recruiters some more. So for now, it's done. But yes, there is more. If you love the content, go ahead, please subscribe it so that when next video comes out, you are going to get notified of it. If you like the content shared, please go ahead, like button so that I get satisfied with my work. So it's a sign off. See you in the next video. Till then, cheers.